We have with us former Meghalaya Chief Minister and TMC leader Dr. 𝗧𝗠𝗖 𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗗𝗘𝗥 Well, sir, your first reaction on the mandate of Meghalaya?
Yeah, people have spoken. The mandate is there for everyone to see. And I must congratulate people because people from every nook and corner of the state have come and responded to their call of duty in exercising their franchise and have spoken through the mandate that has been reflected in the result of this 2023 assembly election. Yeah.
Well, sir,
I would like to also thank all the people who have been there on the ground zero, work hard for my political party, and have brought us thus far.
well, even in the exit poll, it was predicted that NPP will be the single largest party. You were put in the second position, but you were not in the second position. So what went wrong for the TMC?
No, there are many factors. You have to go back to the ground zero and ask the people what has happened on the ground zero. This is an offshoot of the rampant, blatant engagement in corrupt practices that has preceded the last 5 years. And the whole instances of that innumerable allegations of alleged corruption have manifested itself during this election. You have to go and ask every villager, you will get all the replies. So therefore, as I have said earlier also, please understand that once the electoral environment is vitiated by resources coming from all illegal means, it is going to destroy a state, it is going to destroy a nation. Corruption is more crippling and deadlier than terrorism. It affects everyone. Therefore, it is already being manifested even during this whole democratic process. The democratic process is not insulated from this whole whatever has happened in the last 5 years. Now, therefore, you see all those innumerable candidates who have probably raised their hands and said, well, I'm not able to. So what happens to the support base? They spread out and go everywhere. And then it just have all those unpredictability of an outcome of the whole electoral process. So I think I would suggest and advise everyone who would like to sustain the true spirit of democracy to really understand what's happening on the ground zero. How the overall intent of people who are engaged in all those alleged corrupt practices are going to utilize these whole resources that they accumulate over a period of time to vitiate the environment of electoral process and therefore jeopardize the overall intent of the electorates themselves.
A day before the counting, you were sounding very confident. You told me that TMC will cross the 20 mark and you will be needing the support of few parties, one or two parties, and you will be forming the government in Meghalaya.
You see, on the run-up for the poll, on the run-up for the D-Day, the 27th, you would have seen and noticed, the whole enthusiasm of the people to have that desired change. What happened? What factor ultimately derailed the whole momentum? That's what I'm saying. You have to go to the ground zero, speak to the electorates, have a post-poll analysis, and see whether this particular democracy, which is considered as the best form of governance, is really the best form of governance in absence of other means and mechanisms to check the usage of black money during the election. Where are this money coming from? Where is money coming from? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So if black money ultimately find their way during the electoral process, during the election, then you will see that no good people will have an inclination to participate in political process, and that will then have its own expected disastrous ramification for the future.
Well, sir, you said that you have your cards close to your chest, which you will throw on the table. So is the game still on?
You see, the game is still on because the game has been activated by the people themselves. Okay. Now, what is the mandate? There is no mandate for any political party. Or otherwise, I will say the mandate is to effect a change. Yes, there is no decisive mandate given to any political party. Therefore, now all the political parties and the elected representatives belonging to all these respective different political parties, as responsible leaders of the state, we have to realize one thing, that along with this mandate of the people, there comes a huge sense of responsibility. A responsibility towards ensuring that our priority revolves around for doing all that is necessary for larger good of the people and protect the interests of the state. Therefore, all these political parties, in view of what has happened in the past 5 years, and in view of all those whatever issues were raised, now which issue dominated the whole electoral process? The issue of alleged irregularities and alleged instances of corruption. Now, when we talk about this issue of corruption, you also have an instance when the state was tagged with an rather infamous tag of being the #1 corrupt state in the country. Do you going to just say that it was a political rhetoric? No. Because this particular, I must say, it was probably directed towards the people of the state to realize what has happened in the past, and to create that kind of an awakening process, but must be based on substantive informations, inputs, and therefore everybody who understands the menace of corruption, as I said, the corruption is more crippling and more deadlier than terrorism. Therefore, all those who care for the people, who realizes our own respective responsibilities as elected representatives and political parties, must come together and see that we put our collective effort and resolve to protect the interests of this beautiful state and relieve it, free it from this infamous tag of being the #1 corrupt state. Will it happen or will it not happen? It will happen if all the political parties and if all the elected representatives really respond to their call of duty of ensuring that the interests of the people and the interests of the state supersedes everything else, and there is no other priority. The priority of ensuring that we serve the people and protect the interests of the state.
So when you are saying, if in fact you have told openly that the game is on, so is there a chance of the theory of all the opposition parties to come united and form a government against NPP and BJP?
Now let me come back to the same issue. Now, if you are talking about ensuring doing justice to the mandate of the people, we must do justice to the mandate of the people. And if we want to do justice to the mandate of the people, then all these political parties must come together and ensure that no political party who was responsible in navigating the whole instances and modus operandi for allowing these instances of alleged irregularities and alleged corruption are kept out of power. The moment you put them in authority and power, they will utilize this whole authority, position, power to further amplify their whole modus operandi, which has had which has inflicted this state irreversible injury into the fiscal health of the state. We will have disastrous future. We must realize that the honors of responsibility of, therefore, protecting the interests of the state lies with every elected representatives.
So why I have asked you this, because your General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee has tweeted yesterday that TMC will sit in the opposition, but you are saying the game is on. So which way shall we go? Are you forming?
Yes, yes. See, look at this. I have also said yesterday that we are there to play a constructive role as an opposition, and we are also there to keep on invoking the process of thinking amongst all our colleagues, all our responsible leaders who have been elected by the people. It is our responsibility. Look, think. What is the mandate and what the purpose thereof? The mandate and the purpose thereof. That we must realize that now the honors of responsibility lies on us. Will we allow the state to be subjected to the similar kind of the damage and then the kind of instances of, I must say, blatant irregularities and blatant alleged corruptions? Will we allow it to happen again? Will we allow it to be repeated by the same people in authority? Because these people have seen, and therefore the mandate, that these people have no other priority except to fulfill their swelling greed. I repeat, except to fulfill their swelling greed. This greed will never end. Because if somebody is hungry and eat, once he is full, he will stop eating. But the greed doesn't have a limit.
Sir, will you be sitting in the opposition in the House, or will you still play your game of trying to form a government of the opposition parties right now? Because NPP has gone ahead
As of now, you see, the number game is like this: 26 and 2 BJP 28. So in a house of 60, now 59 with one vacant seat yet to be meaning the seat, that 60th seat pertaining to Soyong, will have to have election. And now we have a strength of 59. So in 59, you have enough numbers if we all realizes our responsibility towards the people and towards the state. Number is there. The only thing is that we will have to realize that, okay, it's our responsibility to come together. Number is there. So will our people realize this responsibility, that yes, we must ensure that repetition of last preceding 5 years doesn't happen and inflict the kind of irreversible damage on the fiscal health of the state? Whose responsibility it is? It is the responsibility of all the people who have been given the mandate along with the responsibility thereof. And therefore, I see people, I receive so many messages, innumerable messages here. Are these political parties coming together to protect the interests of the people and the interests of the state? These are the messages coming. I think you have seen how the people have spoken. You look at the people of Meghalaya. You look at the people of all the vicinity of this beautiful city. What have people spoken? People have spoken, and that language we must understand. And therefore, we must realize our own responsibility. Our responsibility is nothing else but to protect the interests of the state at this juncture. There's no other important issue than to protect the interests of this state from the instances of such blatant alleged corruption of such a scale which has been unprecedented, never heard of.
Sir, are efforts on from your sides? Are you reaching out to the parties you are speaking, or are they reaching to you for the theory you are talking?
I'm talking to all the leaders of the regional parties. I'm talking to all the independents. I have talked to the independents yesterday also. I have told them, look, you have been given the mandate. But yes, we have been given the mandate. But along with this mandate, there comes huge responsibility. The responsibility towards the state, towards the larger good of the people, and nothing else. Nothing else. Therefore, please remember that now the honors of responsibility to give fruition to this desire of the people is upon us.
Lastly, sir, is there any chances of what you are saying about the theory of all the parties coming together and forming the government?
100%. 100%.
So Mukul Sangma is going to turn the table?
Not Mukul Sangma, the people of the state. Because the people of the state has given the mandate, and along with this mandate comes there a huge responsibility of protecting the interests of the people, protecting the interests of the state.
So you're sounding right now also confident of forming the government?
See, we have always been motivated and inspired by the resolve of the people themselves. Now, what is the resolve of the people? You look at the vote share. You look at the vote share of all those people who wanted the government to be out. Okay, there are some whatever factors you will know when you go to ground zero, I have told you. Other than that, there is no other factor which has enabled them to cobble up this number by default.
Thank you very much. That was former Chief Minister of Meghalaya and TMC leader Dr. Mukul Sangma speaking exclusively to Northeast Live. Reporting from Shillong with camera person Francis, this is 𝗟𝗓𝗏 for Northeast Live.